All right, Kirby Smart's pretty serious about what Georgia needs to watch out for, and that's the Dogs themselves.
Complacency. It's SEC Media Days. Kirby Smart had one real message, and he kept saying it over and over, and it was that Georgia had to fight being complacent. That message came out again today, saying that they were their biggest opponent. They play the best in practice every day. The offense and the defense is going up against the best every single day, and that's why they feel sometimes that these games, I mean, the players will tell you they feel that the practice is harder sometimes. They do that for a reason. The reason is to win big. And it's hard to things can get boring. What was that quote from a few weeks back was they cannot get bored with the process. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. I mean, that was from Takeo Spikes, Washington, Georgia native. I mean, Washington County native to Neal, Georgia. So he's right, though. I mean, you can't get bored if you're out there, and this is the most competitive. For the most part, Georgia's offensive line, Georgia's defensive line is going to be the toughest defensive line they see. Maybe Ohio State or Alabama, right? Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, those guys, Michigan, they've got guys. But literally, you're dealing with these guys, what is it, 60-something practices during the year. That's a lot. I mean, that does not even include the 30 practices in the preseason. So he's right to say, hey, our biggest challenge is us.
Dominic Lovett today. He was asked about how he wasn't a part of the last two national championships. How does that mean for him? And he was just talking about how he's only looking at this year. He wasn't even really thinking about Missouri. So they're bringing in guys with that same mentality that look forward, with fresh faces. They know how it feels to win. They just did it twice. I think that's enough motivation to want that again. But these players they're talking just like last year about how the previous year didn't matter. It's the same conversation this season. They're not looking at December. They're looking at UT Martin. They're not thinking about Ball State yet. That's only a couple weeks away. They're thinking about UT Martin.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and that is certainly coach speak. But I mean, I would be worried about today's practice to some degree. I mean, you look at like Nazir Stackhouse has to deal with Xavier Truss and Cedric Van Pran. He's got to deal with them a lot, and that's a challenge. And I think if you want the best, you need to go out there and do it every single day in practice. Not what Kirby's talking about is he's saying, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do the right way, this is Dean, translating for Kirby. We're not going to lose. If we do what we're supposed to do, we're not going to lose. That's what he's saying. If you want the best, check this out. How comfortable are you right now? So EkoPoly, has got this. They're making this very, very nice outdoor. Red. This is red and black. You do not have to get it in red and black. I've got links down below for everything. But they're helping us out so much this year. So help them out by checking out all the stuff they've got. It's not just this one product or this. I'm going to call it a footstool. It's not a footstool, although we're using it as one.
It's like a coffee table.
Here's the thing with this, though, man. Like these can stay outside. I would not leave them outside, but they can stay outside. The poly though is meant for outside. So if you've got a lake house, if you're up in the mountains, beach, the salt is not going to mess. The salt air is not going to really wreak havoc with this. This is sort of stuff that's made for outside. They make this in Eastman. They create jobs in Eastman. This is a Georgia company. If you want to get some discounts on this stuff, you can go to their manufacturing facility in Eastman. And we've got a lot more to say about that. One other thing. This is a 20-year warranty. This is not going to fade. This is plastic. It's recycled. It's very good quality. Again, I'm going to say this a lot. I weigh 250 pounds. Usually, stuff is not this comfortable for me, but this is. That's what I have to say about that. If Georgia's going to have this sort of comfort at the end of the season, well done, right? Yeah. If Georgia's going to have this sort of comfort, if they're going to be hoisting trophies, they are going to have to go as hard as they can right now, man. I mean, they just lost Branson Robinson. That does not help. But it's not going to be any one player that hurts them. that goes down. They need Dominic Lovett. They need Brock Bowers. They need Ladd. They need all these guys. They need Xavier Truss. They need Carson. They need all that front seven, all of them. Front seven is front 20.
They have to live by the mottos that they keep coming up with. They have to live that like they have been before. That just can't change. Is there a real reason why that would change? I don't think so. Something that I was thinking about earlier today was, what do you think? And I don't really have the answer for you yet.
Okay.
What do you think if they don't win the national championship this year? What do you think would be the main reason why? I think it'd be more than one reason, but I mean, what do you think that would be?
So what I would say is, if they don't win it, someone's just better than they are. You know, and that would have to be LSU or Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan or Florida State or, you know, whoever, Clemson, Notre Dame. But the problem is those teams are not – Georgia – Kirby knows that Georgia is the best team in the country right now. He will not say that directly like that. But what he's saying when he says the biggest opponent is us, he said that like 3 times this preseason. That's exactly what he's talking about. If they lose, it will because someone's not better than they're not better than the other team. I'm not sure there's another team better than them, so I'm a little skeptical. But you can lose with turnovers. But go ahead.
I think that they know how good they are. I wrote something about the offensive line that's on the site today. They know how good they are at that group. Kirby doesn't seem worried, right? I mean, he doesn't seem concerned. Even when talking about these injuries, he seems very cool. A little bit cooler than I remember him acting maybe in the past. I think that he knows how good his team is. He knows that all they have to do is just buy into the process and just continue what they've done. I don't think they have to do anything different to keep winning.
The biggest difference right now is, do we know how good Carson Beck is under pressure? So we don't know that. We know he's won a state championship at a very small school in the not a small school, but a non-traditional power school in the largest classification in the state of Florida. He's won the state championship there. He has delivered when he's played. He's been very good. As I've said, he played in garbage time. He's never been garbage in that time. So we're just going to see what Carson is like. If Carson Beck is your biggest problem, you might really be in for a good season. That's my you want to call it a hot take? Okay. But I mean, I think Carson Beck's pretty good personally. Is he more gifted than Stetson? Well, but Stetson gave you certain things that Carson didn't because of the legs. But Carson may be a better quarterback. You know how I am with this thing. We're just going to have to see. But you want to find out what's going to stop Georgia. Usually the answer to that lately has been Georgia. 2020 it was Alabama. And the Gators too. But in that game they turned the ball over like 3 or 4 times against Florida. Stetson gets hurt. You know, Florida was a better team that day. But you know, you don't have Richard LeCount. Stetson gets knocked out. Jordan Davis doesn't play in that game. Florida is good. There's that too. And then there were the multiple turnovers. Florida had turnovers as well, but Georgia I think had 3 or 4 turnovers. I mean, the quarterback play was bad. So it's different now because they've won. Go ahead.
You know, another thing with Carson too are these environments. How is he going to handle being on the road in the SEC? You know, there's another beast with that. We don't know. How is he going to handle Neyland Stadium? Is going to be loud. Those stadiums are going to be loud. We just don't know because we've never seen him have to deal with that. But I mean, it's not like he hasn't handled a pressured situation before. I mean, that's winning a state championship in whatever sport in high school is no joke. I mean,
there's pressure. I was trying to hit 3 free throws in a row yesterday, and it about drove me crazy because I got into my own head, and I was like, I kept hitting 2, and when I got to 3, so you can apply pressure to yourself no matter what. That's not always good. I failed yesterday, but when you're at Neyland, when you're at Auburn, sometimes Ryan, it's harder on the road. There's no question. But sometimes you can simplify things on the road. You expect it to be loud. It's always loud. You expect there to be pressure. It's always pressure. Georgia has lost on the road under Kirby, although it's been a while. Sometimes at home, the pressure can be a little bit more because it can get quiet. I know that doesn't sound right, but you can feel a crowd get tense. If a crowd is tense on the road, that's good. and we're going to see that consistently with Georgia, I think. Auburn might be better than Georgia and everybody thinks. I'm not sure. We're going to see. But Auburn for Georgia will be a real test. It's good for Georgia to play Carolina at home before they go. Carson has played on the road, and he played at Carolina. He played all these, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same.
It's not, because when he's had to, the pressure's off, and the reason he's in is because they know that they've won the game. So that would be different. But as you said, garbage time, not playing like garbage. When he's gone in, I mean, he's throwing touchdowns.
Not who you play, how you play. Carson has played well for some time now.
He has. He's
But we're getting off on Carson
again.
Georgia's biggest issue is that they need to prepare to play against Georgia every single week. If they do that, they're going to be really good on Saturdays.
They do. They play the best team in the country in practice every single day. They just do. There's no other way to put it. They are playing better players every single day when they go out there. It should look easy again, especially at the beginning. It should look easy.
I want to see how they play. I don't care who they're playing. Carolina will be a test. Auburn will be a test. I don't care who they're playing. How are you playing? Are you getting the ball out quick? Are you defending? Is the offensive line giving you the time you need? There's all sorts. Are you doing dumb stuff? But, dude, I don't think we're not going to see that from this guy, man. I mean, I think he is chilled out and ready to party. He knows how to play. If Dylan Raiola was starting, that'd be a different ball game. If Vandergrift were starting, if Gunnar Stockton were starting, or if Puglisi were starting, that's different. That's different because they've literally never done it and they've not been around for a while. That's not the case with this team. Carson Beck has been around for a while and he's played. Other thing, too, it just doesn't look to me, man, the way they practice, like it doesn't seem to me like you're getting any breaks. I mean, like, did you hear Trey?
It's harsh, man.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
It's harsh.
And, like, I love it.
They're practicing at the hottest time of the day. They're doing that on purpose, man. I mean, that's part of that. It's the schedule, but it's the hardest thing that they have to do is in Athens. It's at Butts-Mehre.
That's so good, though, man. That's so good because when you hear B-Mac saying what he's saying, Trey Scott, everybody out there is saying, wreck them, hit the players hard. He's saying that to the student folks or whoever the running back is in the linebacker drill. They're saying, try to end them. It's intense all the time. Kirby was not going nuts today. So, every day you can't go nuts because when you go nuts, people won't know that the effect is there. But I think this is a really good team. I want to see everybody else play. I'm very eager to see SC play. I'm very eager to see Notre Dame play. I'm eager to watch Vanderbilt play. I'm just like, you know how I am, man. I will watch a lot of
football. Is in a couple days, man. We're getting it in 3 days at the time we're recording this.
Yeah.
But it's week 0's here. I'm excited about that, but they go so hard at those practices. They go so hard. I've never been there while they've had a water break. I've never seen it. I don't know when they get them, but it's nonstop. It's boom, boom. They've got a timer. It's all strategic. It is a machine. It's a machine. How will Carson Beck fit into that is their biggest question.
He's the biggest part of the machine, but he also knows how to operate the machine. Make sure you're picking this up. The link is down below. Just check it out. It's Georgia made, 20 years. It's a really good product. Thanks for watching.